January 2017, question 10b. It says a ship travels from Akron A on a bearing of 30 degrees to Belleville B, 90 kilometers away. It then travels to Compton C, which is 310 kilometers due east of Akron, as shown in the diagram. I indicate on the diagram the bearing 30 degrees and the distances 90 and 310 kilometers for 2 marks. So the first thing is this ship started on its journey at Akron. Then it went on a bearing of what? 30 degrees toward Belleville B, which is 90 kilometers away. And we're told that Compton C is 310 kilometers due east of Akron. The angle between north and east is 90 degrees. So that's the information we're asked to put in. And for putting that information, you would get 2 marks. The second thing we're asked to do is we're asked to calculate to the nearest kilometer the distance between Belleville B and Compton C. In other words, we're asked to calculate the distance BC. I'm going to call it X. So ABC here, as you see in here, is a non-right angle triangle. And the tools for solving a non-right angle triangle are sine rule and the cosine rule. By looking at the information you have, you can determine which rule you're going to use. And what we have here, we have what we know about triangle ABC is we know the lengths of 2 sides. All right, that's not enough information, but I can easily find this angle here. I can easily find this angle here. All right, and I'm going to call it alpha. So the angle alpha, so let's start at I. The angle alpha is equal to 90 minus 30, and so it is equal to 60 degrees. Easy to see why. The angle between north and east is 90 degrees. The angle at the top is 30, so the angle at the bottom here is 60 degrees. All right. So what we now know about triangle ABC is we know the length of 2 sides and the inclusive angles. And the length of 2 sides and the inclusive angle is a condition for applying the cosine rule. So let's write the cosine rule formula. The cosine rule formula says a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine big A. In this formula, A is the side opposite the inclusive angle. B and C are 2 sides, or the 2 sides of known lengths. And big A here in the formula is the inclusive angle. All right. So based on what I just said, this would be little a, this would be B, this would be C, and this would be big A. All right. So let's put in our information. So this would be x squared is equal to 90 squared plus 310 squared minus 2 times 90 times 310 times the cosine of 60 degrees. 90 squared is 8,100. 310 square 310 square is 96,100 minus 2 times 90 times 310. So there's 2 times 90 times 310. That's 55,800. So this is 55,800, the cosine of 60 degrees. So 8,100 plus 96,100. This is 104,200 minus 55,800, the cosine of 60. Alright, so this is x squared. The opposite of square is square root. So x would be the square root of all of this. Alright, put that in the calculator. And we're going to get the square root of, open bracket, 104,200 minus 55,800, the cosine of 60 degrees, close bracket, and alright, getting some weird answer here. Let's do it again. Alright, so the answer is 276. So therefore BC is 276.2 kilometers. So BC, the distance from Belleville to Compton is 276 kilometers to nearest kilometer. All right. All right. So the next thing we're asked to find is we're asked to find calculate to the nearest degree the measure of angle ABC. So back up to the diagram. We just found this distance here to be 276 kilometers. And now we're asked to find angle ABC, which is this angle here. I'm going to call it theta. Angle ABC is an angle inside of my non-right angle triangle. And if you use cosine rule on a triangle, the next rule you must use on a triangle is the sine rule. Or the next thing you're going to use on a triangle is the sine rule. So to find the angle theta, I'm going to say sine theta over the side that is opposite to theta, which is 310, is equal to sine, the only angle I know in the triangle, which is, it's not 40, it's 60, the sine of 60 degrees over the side that is opposite to that, which is 276. I'm going to bring this 310 over here. So therefore I'm going to say sine theta would be equal to 310 sine 60 divided by 276. Alright, so you put that in the calculator, give 3 decimal places. I think that would come out to 0.973 to 3 decimal places. If I know the sine of an angle, To find the angle, I must use sine inverse. Therefore, theta, which is angle ABC, which is angle ABC, is equal to sine inverse 0.973, which is equal to 77 degrees to 1 to nearest degree. All right. So we just found this angle here to be 77 degrees. It doesn't look like 77 degrees, but we were told at the beginning that the triangle is not drawn to scale. All right, so let's see what's the final thing we have to do. The final thing we have to do, IV, is to determine the bearing of Compton from Belleville. The bearing of Compton from Belleville. So let's go back to our diagram and put in the angle that represents the bearing of Compton from Belleville. So I'm given direction from Belleville. So anywhere I'm given a bearing from, I could go there and draw my north, south, east, west line. Bearing is measured clockwise starting from north. So I'm going to start from north and come around, all right, to the line that connects B and C. So this angle here, whatever it is, represents the bearing of C from B. Again, how do I indicate that that angle? Bearing is measured clockwise starting from north. So I start from north and come around to the line that connects B and C. That angle is the bearing of C from B, of Compton from Belleville. All right, I know piece of the angle already. The top piece here is 90. What I don't need is this bottom piece here. Well, let's find it. I also know that if I know this angle, I also know this angle because the two angles are alternate angles. Look carefully, you can see it. The two angles are alternate angles. I'm going to call this angle beta. So let's find beta. The three angles in the triangle are 60 degrees, 77 degrees, and beta. All right, and the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So from that, I can easily say that beta would be equal to 180 minus 60 plus 77. So this is 180 minus 137, which is 43 degrees. All right. So back to our diagram. If this angle is 43 degrees, this angle here is also 43 degrees. They are alternate angles. So now I can simply say, in concluding the question, that the bearing of C Compton from B Belleville would be equal to 90 plus 43, which would be equal to 133 degrees. It's equal to 133 degrees.